All right, what's up guys? It's John with MRC Garage. Tonight we're gonna be reviving this car right here, the CRX. So we've got a couple of rusty suspension parts that we've taken off of the car and we need to clean them up. So I'm going to do that with the sandblaster tonight, and since I didn't bring it with me because I forgot, pt4 tomorrow. So let's just cut to the chase and we'll get right to it. Okay guys, so here are the parts we're going to be sandblasting. These are the front shock forks, I believe is what you call them. But anyway, they just mount the strut to the lower control arm and you know, just kind of tie the rest of the suspension together to the actual shock. So I'm going to get these in the sandblaster, mount you guys up on the tie rod, or on the tripod. Sorry, not tie rod. Misspoke. But we'll get you guys mounted up and we'll start blasting these babies. Got them in the sandblaster. Time to lock and load. Okay guys, so I'm having some issues with the sandblaster at the moment, and honestly there's not a whole lot of real heavy rust on these, so I think I can clear them up with a wire wheel on a die grinder, so we're going to try that next. Okay guys, so we've got them all cleaned up now. Fortunately we couldn't use the sandblaster, but it's whatever. We've still got all the rust off of them. Like I said, I didn't bring my pt4 with me today, so I'll be bringing that over tomorrow and we'll give these things a nice coat and they'll be ready to be reused. Alright, what's up guys? We're back at the shop tonight. Reed's with us again. He's off of work. He's just going over the forks that we cleaned up last night. Fortunately, we ran out of sandblast media, and that's why the sandblaster was having issues. I just didn't understand. But we cleaned them up with the wire wheel, and they look pretty damn good. So explain to us what we're going to be doing today, Reed.
We got some pt4. It's a rust preventative permanent coating. It's like a sealer, and then we've got our duplicolor. So not only are we going to pt4 it, as seen on a lot of other people use it, we're going to use some duplicolor rough, rugged bed coating. So it should be looking pretty cool. My plan was not to just coat it in black spray paint like everybody else. I think these look really sick rhino line, but that might be a little bit overkill. So
we just want to give them a good coating so that they're protected under the car from rock chips and everything else.
The last thing I hate is when switching coilovers or even taking the wheel off to adjust
putting new
height,
beautiful parts on rusty bullshit.
Yeah, it just. And even when you just paint them and then have to adjust your coilover or just anything, it just
you come back to them and they're already rusted over again. So we really wanted to make sure that they stay looking good. So we're doing this multi-step process and seeing how it works.
So nothing too fancy. I went a bit overkill.
Reed wanted to twist the ends with the drill, which is nice and everything for some things, but we're just hanging stuff up. It's kind of overkill for what we're doing.
Yeah.
So all right. So now one of the guys that I went to school with at Parkland, he was actually one of the teachers, told me about using this stuff. And if you don't go, this is really expensive paint. It's like $50 for a quart of this stuff. So I want to be able to preserve this because I know that we're not going to use a whole quart of this on two of these itty bitty shock forks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, and instead of leaving it in the container and putting this lid back on, these lids don't like to seal right unless you get them absolutely clean. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to put it in these cups, and I'm going to use these resealable lids that come with these cups to keep this stuff stored and hopefully in a liquid state, and hopefully when we come back to this to do the other parts, it's not going to be a dried up mess and a waste of 50 bucks. If it is and it doesn't work, you'll hear it from us. We're not afraid to admit our mistakes. It,
She looks a
and
little
we'll
tipsy.
pour just a little bit out and then use that on the forks. Alright, so we're just going to give it some light coats.
Hopefully this brush goes on good, guys. I'm not too sure how, if you want to.
The only bad thing about hanging stuff up like this is it likes to move around.
But the reason I don't want to just rattle can it, like, I mean, I don't know, I want to do a little bit better than what a lot of people just throw a can of rattle paint on it and throw it on the car like it's okay, like it's good, but and honestly it's not, because I've done that and come back to it a month later to change out wheels or change a different set of coilovers, and it
looks the same as
then when you first took it off, and I don't want that. I honestly want something that's going to adhere very well. And I also thought bed liner with a big rough coating would just, it would be indestructible. I mean, yeah, it might get a little dirty and nasty, but a good power wash or, you know, a scrub there and there when you do a brake change, it'll, you know, it won't look nasty.
I kind of understand where we're coming from. We lived in Illinois.
We live in Illinois, and what happens here is just one winter, your Civic will go to hell. And one winter, your Civic will go completely to crap. And people in Wisconsin, you guys know this too, like, it's not like we live in Utah or Arizona or California or Florida or anywhere where there's not any snow or salt or ice or anything that just beats the living daylights out of the car.
They don't sand our roads here, they salt their roads.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and that stuff just eats.
And then the car washes don't necessarily provide hot water all the time, so they just shut them off, or they just run the water running, but you can't put no money in it because it's closed for the winter. I mean, and there's a lot of places that do provide, but it's not necessarily the hot water that you need. It's pretty much cold. And there's only a couple around here that actually provide hot water.
And unless you have one of those like under car attachments for your pressure washer, a lot of times the undercarriage doesn't really get touched at all. Yeah, your paint and everything looks great, but meanwhile underneath, all these parts like this are just rotting away.
Yep. So
it'll rot away on you.
No, I don't want it.
If you live in a Rust Belt state, you know.
No, I want it to be.
I
want you to buy our hoodies, and I want you to buy our merch with confidence, knowing that you are going to be winning a machine that has been hand put together with a fine-tooth comb. I don't want it to be, oh, these kids just slapped this together. And it's honestly about, to me, is providing a car to one of you that most people would dream about and can't afford, or they've got a kid, or they've got life in the way that they just don't have room to even build, but they're in, you know, just.
But they're still car guys.
And you're still car guys, you know. It's just about giving away, and that's what Midnight Racing Cartel is all about, is giving away.
Help the little guy out. We're not one of those guys that's just in this to make money. We actually want to help people like us that, you know, didn't necessarily grow up poor, but, you know, didn't really grow up well enough to have, you know, every little project that they wanted. This will be able to give something away that's special, and
I can't wait. I can't wait for these to come out. Yeah.
I know, it's already looking pretty good.
We're gonna turn our heater on here, and we're gonna go ahead and give this a coat, give you guys a quick little update. It looks pretty good so far, guys. So, like I said, every nut and bolt and every inch on that car, on this car, is going to be going over. That's including the undercarriage, steering rack. This is going to be a long journey. Gas tank, as I mentioned before in the last video, the list of brand new everything. Anything I can get OEM for this car. Door seals, I'm getting them. Window seals, I'm getting them. Anything I can get for it, what's not discontinued, post in the comments and let me know. And I will have, it's gonna get ordered. I just don't want to cheap out on anything. And if we can't buy OEM, we're gonna be doing stuff like this.
We're gonna restore.
We're gonna be restoring everything, sandblasting it. And the next thing, you know, I would love to powder coat this. That's a next step, you know, that's in the future of what we'll be doing. But without any further ado, we're gonna let this dry and give you guys an update. Alright guys, so we let the camera charge up again, let this dry, had the heater on. Still gonna go ahead and let this one dry before we go and duplicolor it. We're gonna go ahead and do this one real quick.
Hold that steady for me, Rito.
You missed the spot.
I'm sure I did.
Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and let these dry. We're gonna take off. It is pretty late already. It's approaching 9 o'clock. Got work in the morning. Been here since 3:30-ish, 4 o'clock. So we got a lot accomplished. I'm happy with what we've got done, and so we're gonna go ahead and let these dry. Then come back at it tomorrow and see what it looks like and give you guys an update and see whether we are going to use this duplicolor or not.
You see what I have to deal with? You see what I have to deal with?
Greetings. What's going on, guys? We're back at the shop today. They came out phenomenal. I honestly don't know if I want to put that duplicolor over it, so let's check it out. Look at these guys. I couldn't be like, I don't know.
Great. I mean, the finish is really nice, and it's not one of those finishes. You know, it's not like cheap spray paint. It's not gonna just chip off either.
Yeah, and it's
like an enamel if you've ever used enamel. So
it's hard. It's just nice, you guys. I don't know how well it's coming out on every penny. It's 50 bucks a quart, you guys. Once again, and it's nice, very nice. We coated.
I mean, honestly, it looks powder coated.
It really does, honestly. It honestly looks powder coated, but I wouldn't go that far with it, John. I mean, it does, but I'm saying like
what my experience with powder coating is like tractor parts and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a regular, you know, part for a deer or something coming out of the box or something looks pretty much exactly like that.
I got
you. Some kind of, you know, industrial
paint
finish on it, not, you know, just run-of-the-mill spray paint. But
yeah, this is in person, guys. This is, I know on camera it kind of looks like just I'm trying to get the best of everything, but this really did the trick. It's just more than what spray paint will do, and I'm honestly gonna be hurt in a second when we
cover these. It's for a reason.
You gotta cover it though. This is a sealer. Although this isn't getting hit by UV rays, it should be okay.
Not constantly, but in the right angle, you know, if the sun's low or whatever, it's still going to shine through the wheels and go on. So you have to have some kind of protectant on top of it.
Yeah.
It says it right here on the instructions, if you don't believe us. So application, pt4 rust preventative coating is sensitive to UV light and must be top coated when prolonged exposure to sunlight is possible. Top coating is not required for areas that are not exposed to sunlight. Well, these are going to be intermittently exposed to sunlight due to whatever. It's just cheap insurance.
It's just a little bit insurance, and it's supposed to be like bed liner. But it's supposed to have this, like I said, guys.
It shows this wrinkle texture on here, but we did a couple test passes on this this old turbo housing.
On this old turbo housing right here, and it's
really not how they fucking advertise.
No,
I think we can get that nice wrinkle coating that you see from like a professional Line X job or a Rhino Line job. with a spray can.
So
I think you have to either roll it on or have one of those huge industrial sprayers.
I'm not too sure. Actually, not too bad.
Master at work. He's a Bob Ross with a rattle can. Just think of it this way, Reed. It's gonna draw more attention to the beautiful coilovers that we're gonna put on the car.
It's gonna be like a flat black, you guys, so it's not gonna be glossy, which that's what I was going for. I was actually wanting bed liner or rhino lining over all of this, and I thought that would be just something different, something cool. But
we thought it would just protected it better.
John had a good point. When dirt or anything hits it, or dust or grime, or even...
If you put a flat finish under a car, whatever dirt, grime, whatever comes up from the roads, from your wheels, tires, whatever, brake dust is going to stick to a flat finish. That's why you always kind of want to have a gloss finish on whatever kind of undercoating you have on the car. But I mean, if you regularly wash the underside of your car, it's really not that big of a deal. But you know, it's just something to think about when choosing what kind of coating you want.
Alright, so let it dry for about 20-30 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and give it another couple coats. Like I said, I just want to use the whole can. Got that cured overnight. I got off work pretty late tonight. It's approaching 8:30, 9 o'clock. So we're going to go ahead and call tonight. Come back tomorrow. Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. It is the next day. Once again, last but not least, but here they are. All dried up. It's got somewhat a rugged feel to it. I like it. They're not gonna deteriorate. They're not gonna get surface rust. They're not gonna get all nasty. So let's go ahead and check these puppies out over here. So one right there. Give you guys a nice overview. So yeah, it's got that little, almost like bed liner. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it turned out really great in the pt4 15. Make sure I'm saying that right. Yeah, pt4 15 was a perfect primer. Basically, it was just the perfect prepping material for this. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.